Good morning, teacher. Today we are going to talk to you about the issues of the impact of COVID-19. As participant, I mi partner Ramos Wakachariana, and me person Moscoso Juárez Azuri. On the hand, we are going to explain about the economic impact, social impact, environmental impact, cultural impact. We will also talk about the conclusions and recommendations. Now, in go to talk about the introduction. The cultural sector in Peru has also been affected by the pandemic. The confinement measures cancel and cultural activities, such as concerts, theater, performance, cinema, among others. After almost 7 months, libraries of measures were able to open their doors to the public under strict sanitary protocols. The measures were necessary affecting cultural employment, putting archaeological heritage at risk and affect creative and cultural industries around the world. Peru has been one of the countries most affected this virus since, according to the statistical report of the National Institute of Health and National Center for Epidemiology, Prevention and Disease Control 2021 until January 30, 2021 for 137,119 cases of COVID-19 and 16,237 deaths have been confirmed nationwide. Extremely working figure for the medical community dedicated to science. In the framework, the World Health Organization stated that around a percentage of people of acquired the virus have undergone this with two reiki hospital treatment. Therefore, only 20% of people with COVID-19 experience severe snores of breath, the group bear my of elderly people with comorbidities such hypertension, hair of loose problems, diabetes, cancer, arthritis, gastritis, among others. Overweight, this does no agent a person with two a risk factor for present and severe case of COVID-19.
I am going to talk about the impacts. Um, Impact economic. In 2020 event, an impact of the economy was generated to COVID-19 impact to social relations, meals in the order direction, the rate of inflation takes about. This significant is discussion in various economic sectors, especially stock in both the Greek of personal interests, such as moral service trips, is connection of nights on times and disclosed space economic activities main work, losses and private investments contracted. Since the balance of the pandemic negative effects have been scored on different economic sectors of the country, some of the importance of are columns. One, disagree in PBI. The pandemic has generated disagree in PBI in Peru, which estimate an growth 19% in 2020. Disagree alert to the face in for goods and service, the grace investigations and claim for track. Two, great power and influence. The pandemic has affected and empowered this country, especially in the informal sector, is systems in improves in grades both thrifting durante 2020. This allows in grade supporting in the vulnerable organizations population. It will reduce of investing. The pandemic has general disagree in public English in the country, especially in sector lush of the construction, beginning of tourism. This have led the same economic activities help creations. I am sure the economic impact of COVID-19 in Peru has been broad and has affected uh, different sectors and economic activities, whilst measures had been taken or makes affects the pandemic economic coverage impact public-private sector as affects other challenges. Impact social. The impact social slums become 19 trends impact social and slaves memories reduction um, the bricks born in significant reductions various economic centers special to take embrow the correct person in terms of rate services of drugs in the comes of the your terms of change of economic activities, money works, leisure, and private concentration. The social cabinet in Peru has been significant since appearance in March to 2020 before our exclusion province effects what health the virus affect the twins of Peruvian species perhaps when the systems collapse. Today have more than 2 million confirmed collapse on the crimes in country. Two, economic COVID-19 have had negative impact on Peruvian economics. The pandemic have laid from economic activity and increase in incomes, especially in most vulnerable sectors. Three, education. The pandemic has caused major trims on the country education system. School and universities have closed temporary and adopt virtual modes teachers. This have present challenge of student teachers. If for the pandemic is very important in the country, especially sports are on the country. Many people has their health stress in community. Impact, very impact atmospheric. The impact COVID-19 of the environment in Peru has been much of the moment the pandemic has some positive effects are with reductions on race emission gas of either taste by negative impacts ways manner diverse conversations. Um, rating to the rate economic activity and vehicular that crimes periods and significant information and require his being some teams the country Lima with clumps have of their hierarchies question religions large to the creation missions of particular populace with vehicular traffic and industrial activity of the hams the Greeks economic activity and mobility has reduced Ukraine's hash emission in the country homes are go to the temporary have significant on large emission reductions. In the first manner, the pandemic general species, personal, property materials, shoes makes and gloves, we are population and addicted to the pandemic affected capacity, management system in the country. Finally, is biodiversity conservation. Pandemic has generated this great relate properties of natural as well reserve, especialmente in the Peruvian Amazon. Y cultural impact. The cultural impact of COVID-19 in Peru has been significant. The pandemic has affected various cultural aspects of the country from celebrations, religions, festival of tourism, the trade economic, the cultural sector Peru have so been affected by the pandemic, the confinements, cancel of cultural activities, so it's concert, takes performance, cinemas, and girls after love, same month, liberal months, I to open the doors at the public under strange sanitary protocols. Danaes with necessary affect our cultural emporium, but archaeologists get risks affecting creative and cultural ingress around work. One religion festivities in Peru, religion festivities are very important for the country cultural and traditional wear. Um, Example, the Corpus Christi Great Celebration with processions masquerading también while celebrated with processions is managed. So, tourism an important sector of the Peruvian economic and funded have significant impact on this sector. The closed doors and mobility restrictions have to let decrease the number of the visums and reduce in the tourist after. Three, of the culture, the pandemic affects the creative economic in the country, which include artists, musicals were of the press, the cancel of cultural events, the claims in demand for creative services affect incomes and employment in sector. E for education, the pandemic is generally significant challenges on the country education systems. Schools and universities have to adapt to virtual modes of the teach which present challenges for students and teacher and addiction. Cultural and sport activities have been suspended in the school universities, which negatively affect to comprehensive education of students.
Conclusión. In conclusion, the impact of COVID-19 in Peru has been significant in different aspects. At the health level, the pandemic has affected the health of some of Peruvians and exposed the weaknesses of the country health system. In addition, the pandemic has affected the Peruvian economy. Generally, and decrease in GDP and is increase in poverty and unemployment. In social terms, the pandemic has generado cultural impact. The pandemic has affected various religions, festivals, tours, the creative, economic, and education in the country. In summary, the impact of COVID-19 in Peru has been broad and has generated challenges in different areas, with measures have been taken to mitigate its effect. The impact of the pandemic are expected to continue to be visible in the near future. It is important to continue working to care associate or overcome these challenges and pulse a better future. Recommendation to falls to avoid the spread of COVID-19 in Peru. It is important to follow some basic public health recommendations. Fragrant and washing. Washing hands with soap and water of at least 20 seconds in an effective measure to prevention transmission of this virus. Use of masks. Indeed important to wear a mask in public place in situations where adequate physical distance cannot be maintained. Physical distance. My 19 a physical distance of the last 1 meter forms of the health prevent transmission of the virus. Abu Cruz. Abu Cruz public place mass event reducción de transmisión del virus. Quarantine and isolation. In case of present symptoms of the disease, I having been in contact with an infection person. It is important to follow the recommendations of quarantine and isolation to avoid transmission of this virus. Vaccination. Vaccination is an important measure to prevent disease and reduce the spread of this virus. Thank you.